What's going on, everyone? Thanks for entering the Lobby of Hobbies, where we are back with another Kickstarter preview, this time from the same team that brought you Skulk Hollow. Keith Matejka, Eduardo Baroff, and Dustin Faust are back at it again, this time with the standalone sequel, Maul Peak, published by Pencil First Games. Now, if you were a fan of the original Skulk Hollow, you're gonna get that same two-player gameplay, but this one, you can get some new elements added in for a completely new gaming experience and add it to your original Skulk Hollow to play up to 4 players. But if you are completely new to this game, you can jump right in with Maul Peak, and it is a 2-player asymmetrical style game where you are going to be playing out cards, and you are in this skirmish style battle that plays in under an hour. You take on the role of either these small folk animal style creatures that are trying to fend off this huge invading gargantuan guardian. So if you think that sounds like it's up your alley, you might want to stay tuned, so let's get into it. In this standalone sequel, you are going to be battling it out over the harsh, wintry terrains of Maul Peak, either as a band of bear small folk called the Grizzar, or as an ancient guardian who's been awoken from their slumber. Now, I'm briefly going to talk about how this game plays. That way you can get an understanding of how it works and determine whether or not this game is worthy of your backing on Kickstarter. So, let's get to it. To set up the play area, players will take the main terrain board and place it in between them, along with receiving a deck of cards, some components, and the player mat for whatever side they are playing as. The Grizzar player will also receive a mat that represents their den, where members of their team will be waiting to be summoned out onto the battlefield. They will start with their druid and a winter beast of their choice in their keep. The Guardian player will start with their Guardian character out in their lair and a sideboard called the Guardian board, and this is where the Grizzar player will be trying to leap up onto the Guardian and trying to damage them in various parts of their massive body to try and take them down, but also eliminate the various actions that the Guardian player can do on their turn. Now, each side will start off with a starting hand of cards, as well as a set number of actions that they can do on their turn. Now, the Grizzar player has 3 available actions they can do on their turn, and they can spend it doing one of 2 things, either playing a card or to intensify. Now, when they play a card, they are going to be performing the top or bottom ability of that card. Now, these abilities are doing things such as moving one of their characters along the terrain board. They are going to be playing a card to potentially leap up onto the Guardian, or if they are already on the Guardian, leap up further onto the Guardian. They're going to be playing cards to perform a melee attack at whatever location on the Guardian they are currently at, causing them damage. They are playing cards to perform magic abilities on the various heroes on their team. Some of these magic actions allow them to do a winter beast's ability. They will allow them to gain rage, and they will even allow them to perform an attack from a distance. They can also play cards just to gain rage. Now, rage is the resource for the Grizzar player that allows them to do things such as summon more heroes out onto the battlefield, perform their winter beast's ability, or even do more than their allotted 3 actions on their turn. The other action they can do on their turn is to intensify, meaning they can discard a card from their hand to add a rage cube to their rage pool. Now, at the end of their turn, this cube will go from their rage pool to their available or their allotted rage. They can also discard a card to draw a new card into their hand. Now, over to the Guardian, who will have a set number of actions that they can do on their turn, and the number of actions is going to be determined by which Guardian you're playing as. But they are going to be spending these actions to do things such as playing cards from their hand or spending an action to prepare. Now, the various abilities on the cards that they are playing are going to allow them to move along the terrain, to play a card to gain power, to play a card to even heal from damage that the Grizzar player has given them, or play a card to perform a unique ability for that specific Guardian. Now, power, much like rage, is the resource but for the Guardian, and they can spend their power to perform additional actions or spend power to move along the terrain board. Now, when a Guardian prepares, they are going to discard a card from their hand and draw 2 cards into their hand instead. Now, play is going to go back and forth like this, with each player spending their actions to perform movements to attack their opponent, all while trying to accomplish their win condition. Now, each side will have a different win condition. The Grizzar is trying to completely eliminate the Guardian by dealing enough damage to take them down, while the Guardian is trying to eliminate all the current heroes on the board before any new ones are summoned onto the board. But the Guardian also has a secondary win condition. Some of them are trying to trap heroes into their cell, while others are trying to lure heroes into their lair. Others are trying to spend a set number of power to be able to win, while others are trying to completely confuse the hero Grizzar team. And this is what Maul Peak is all about. If you are a fan of Skulk Hollow and you enjoyed that, this is going to give you some of that same feel with the same type of mechanics with some new elements mixed in along the way. But if you are completely new to this game and you are interested in 2-player asymmetrical skirmish games, this is something you might want to check out. The link to the Kickstarter campaign is going to be down in the description below. But I want to thank you guys for checking this one out with me. It's all about playing the games you enjoy, and hopefully somebody discovers something worth checking out. So if you like this one, or if this is something you want to talk about, hit me up down in the comments below. Let's talk about this. If you have questions, if you have played Skulk Hollow, let me know down below. If this is something you're looking forward to, let me know as well. But again, if you are new to the channel, why don't you hit that subscribe button along with that bell icon? That way you can be notified anytime I drop new content. So without further ado, I'll see you on the next one.